heard that song before. It's an oldie. And I'll risk some type of strike. Hey, Blue Frame. Hey, guys. I'm gonna be really fucking honest with y'all right now. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all right now. And this isn't a cry session about what happened before even. It's a truth about mastering right now. And we all need our support, and I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you guys because a lot of you have more skills in some of this areas than me. And we need each other. And I'm not going to talk about today the journey, because we all have our different journeys, and some of them include twins, some of them include soulmates, some of them because it's all about you. And a lot of us, I'm getting hot now because I'm getting upset. My heart's been numb. My heart's been numb since about July, if I'm completely honest. And it was even divinely guided to be numb. So first of all, if you're a major starseed and you know who you are, or you're a major starseed because even just our angelics didn't quite get it. Because us starseeds came here and did it. Because we could close off our heart. Because it was done before a long time ago with intent that way. And it became down here that a lot of us didn't even have hearts anymore. In fact, in the vector, nobody had a heart, because that's what us starseeds came here and rebirthed. Inside a vector. A true heart with blue blood, with red blood, a true heart back from the unity of the two beings. A true heart. And if I'm honest, I'm dealing with the fact that I never had one until now. And I'm just not sure what to do with all of it right this very second. And we got this new start. And I know, as a master on this plane and with the energetics and with the alignment that's happening, and this is my time. I have today. I have today. Actually, I've had this afternoon, because this morning, up until about 1, 2 o'clock, this show was going live still, finally finishing up this mess with the skull and bones and all this crazy ass shit. That had nothing to do with me. And see, that's what I'm coming on to talk to you guys about tonight, because for me, and for maybe a lot of you, the stories that we embodied to get here and the stories that we wrote in on, there were beings that were writing our story in computer code. Yes, there were. There's beings that wrote my life for me to get here. just to get here. That's it. That was my goal, to get here, to be fully here. And I am right now for the first time. And my emotions are so powerful. I'm so powerful right now. I'm so powerful. And my emotions are so powerful, and it concretes things in reality that, and so it's like I've had to steer clear of it. I was literally gifted divinely not to have a shart chakra. This final activation until right now, because in that old story that someone wrote, I get to inherit the earth, but holy shit. When you ride in on that story, then there's a lot coming at you, and unbeknownst to you, and every single bit of it I had to do. Every single bit of it I signed up for in some way in order to bring myself here in my fullness, which is how I showed up here in my draconic chart a long, long, long time ago. And I am a walking pharaoh, and I am the queen. I am. Always have been. But I didn't remember any of that. I'm Libra, if you're Libra and you're watching. I didn't remember any of that. I was blind to all of it. It's the only freaking way I could have made it through, because in this human vessel, in this day and age, in this now, with women the way that they're treated, in the ancient times, and when I'd always done this before, and this is clean up aisle 1 for a new start. Because I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck I am, because my name isn't even Christy. My name is Chastia. Chastia. Chastia means chakra. And right before my birthday last year, I remembered my real name. My real name is Chastia Cavitz with a C. Cavitz. Christy was made from that. Christ was made from that. Chastia. No 2 charges. Meaning an R or an I. It became that. And then we came back to the basis of our chakra alignments and with the earth and the organic matter, because I'm really from 4004. And I know that I say that, but understand what I'm saying is that dimensionally, I wasn't from here. I wasn't from Earth. That's why my knowledge is so high level. Not level, frequency. That's why it's hard to get. And I don't want to put it on y'all either. But I need your help. See, I know how to manifest. I do. It just manifests so big and so far out that it takes forever to get back to me. And it's finally here, right here at my front door, and I'm not even exactly sure what it is, but I know it's right here. But whatever it is, I know that I have to adjust quickly. Because when you carry a lot of organic energy and you carry Pleiadian energy, when I say organic, I mean Syrian energy, Cancer energy, Capricorn energy even, Arcturian energy, high degrees of Libra. Pisces, a little bit. Virgo, a little bit in the early degrees. Your emotions imprint so powerful to timelines. And so I was on with my crew today telling them, hey, be careful right now. Don't, whatever emotionally charges right now, just make sure that you don't react to it. Because it'll pull you back in and then you've got to deal with it. Because of the 0 point fields that we're in right now, and with the sun going into Libra, and y'all know I'm, my crazy Libra party. So, now my party's finally getting to get started. But I have to figure out what I want now. Not what does everyone expect from me from lifetimes that I don't even remember that they do. Because they do. Now. And I'm so grateful for that. I really am. I'm so grateful. But it also is so overwhelming because I'm just now figured out in the past 2 months why I was here for 48 years. I've just now figured out in the last week why I had to come and reincarnate. My whole lifetime, this 48 years, was to get right here. Right here. The rest of it was how I got right here. And I know we all say that, but for me, especially because my whole life was a program. My whole life was a program of being a hybrid in a monarch breeding program is what I ended up getting locked into down here when I came back down here. And that's why I got stuck so long, and so many of y'all even reincarnated to come help wake me up. So I could help you remember how to manifest, remember our masteries from the Egyptian schools, to channel that information, and to embody the Book of the Dead. Well, I'm sending my love and healing to you. The 0 point energy ain't no joke. And today, the skull and bones thing it's a hard thing to jump out of, ain't it? To know that you were the one, basically, that your skin covered that book. To know that, and now know how it was gifted to you and why it was gifted to you. It was gifted to you because you saved the ancestors. And you saved and brought back magic in the realm, basically, energetics, true organic energetics, so that we could do something down here. And that all makes me feel really good. But then on that back end, tonight is the night. This is the day that the skull and bones crap is going on right now. In fact, I'm sure that they're doing their little thing right now. We just caught it early, right? And that just happened on the 18th. On October 18th is when that happened, and it's going to imprint and keep imprinting as Venus gets over it's Scorpio 12 degrees. And that's my draconic Venus. So I was basically, a lot of people and a lot of beings that know who I am in the other realms that even talk to me now call me the mother of the ocean. Because my tears did manifest everything down here. They really did. And the tears that all came through all y'all. But none of that had anything to do with me. It was DNA codes, and it was a being that I had to become in order to rebirth this planet. And then I had to quickly deal with every shadow aspect of it. I had to go at it toe to toe in every dimension, as technology, as an entity, as a demon. I mean, you freaking name it. And I'm strong as shit. And my problem has never been lack of courage. My problem has never been lack of drive. My problem has never been, can I do it? Maybe for a minute every once in a while, but then I always figure out, oh, yes, I can. Right now, this isn't a pity party. This is me trying to make sure that I'm vibrating to the right match in order to bring in what the fuck I did it all for. And see, that's mastery. Mastery is understanding that that vibratory field has to match. When we manifest in a couple, when we try to manifest anything with anybody, you can do it separate. You can, but it's risky. And for me, it's pretty much impossible at this stage right now. And I'm just being realistic because of how quickly I've come up, because I go too high and then nobody can catch me, because my mind will spin out, and next thing I know, I'm creating a huge entire fashion industry, but all I really wanted was my family. All I really wanted was love down here. All I really ever wanted was my true family. It's why I did it all. I didn't sign up as a hybrid to come back and inherit a lot of money or a lot of corporations or banks or whatever the hell that's coming to me now. But it's only coming to me because the skull and bones and how all that crap got all screwed up in these timelines and how everything got based off our power. And then I ended up being the one that blew the lid off the bitch, so now it's mine. Well, shit, there adds some more problems to my life. And it makes a whole lot of sense as to why everything was coming at me the way it was. However, it's not why I was here, and it's not why I came here. And then to me, it just compounded the whole problem, because then in my mind, I'm thinking, because it seemed obvious to me, nobody wanted anything out of me except what I could get them and what I could give them. And my crew knows that because they've watched it. At the same time, I've been walking so many shadow lines, and people had to come in my life and play so many crazy roles in order for me to get us here now. And it's, what's real? What's real? What's not real? What's left? What's coming now? Who's here right now? What's real? That's what I want. Whatever is real. And I'm wounded. I know I look okay. I know I come on here and I'm fiery as hell. That's just because I've learned how to do it. Through anything. Throughout this, my toe broke when I jumped out the moon. Because I literally had to jump off something at a specific time, and because my ankle was twisted when I was a small girl on purpose in order to grit us down to this J bullshit. My tendon got real petrified, and when I jumped down, because I know I didn't just jump down from that ledge on that full moon, but when I jumped down, it split my tendon all the way up to my knee. I didn't get to go nowhere. I didn't get any help. I was in the middle of Ascension getting my soul out of a freaking hotel in LA where it had been locked up. I've lost pretty much all my teeth getting fried working through this Bitcoin shit, because what they did and put on me and kept demanding I make them more and demanding I make them more and demanding I make them more. Never, ever, ever, ever looking at me going, oh my God, all her teeth are falling out. But see, they didn't care, a lot of them. They didn't care. I wasn't real. I wasn't a human. I didn't have feelings. I really honestly don't even know what it is that they think I am. I think maybe they thought I was some artificial intelligence thing that birthed the heart. Maybe I was at that point. I don't fucking know. All I know is that I had a job to do, and I was a right hand of creator, and I was sent here to do it, and I did. And all I know is that now I'm supposed to be happy, and I know I will be, because I found happiness in this journey. I've found happiness talking to you guys. I've found happiness on getting to do new things, which I love to do. And I have so much to learn about so much. You know, I know a lot about a lot in certain areas. In others, I don't know much. And I'm ready to go do that. And I'm ready to share what I do know. But I want to put it to use now. And for me, partnership and people are everything. Because I lived my whole existence making myself get up, having to do it myself, having, I never had parents that told me what to do. I was in a program. I was in a hurry, get the fuck up, wake the fuck up, live out of everybody else's shit. Because it wasn't even mine. And then when I finally get to the being that I think maybe is the one that I've done it all for, they tell me thank you and I appreciate it. But don't offer any other assistance in any other area. I'm supposed to pull up and I'm supposed to do it all over again by myself. No, I'm not. I refuse. Just because I can doesn't mean that I should. Because then there I go again, taking off to the races, building a whole bunch of crap that's unobtainable for me to grab because I'm doing it by myself, and I'm just not going to do it anymore that way. I want to do it with somebody, or I'll go do it by myself and I'll just become whatever that is, but then nobody look back and don't expect me to turn around. Because if I paid all your karma, and I've even proved that you're sitting where you're sitting because of the lifetimes that I have lived, I appreciate you and thank you ain't enough to continue to be in my reality at this point in time when I've got a brand new start and I can finally be me, and I'm trying to figure out what that is, but I'm to the point where I can't figure out who I am anymore without being in a relationship with somebody, because I've never had a real relationship with anybody down here that wasn't trying to get something from me or push me to build something that they could take from me. And that's the damn truth. And you can ask my crew. They've seen it happen to all of us. They've seen it happen to me. They've seen it happen to the team over and over, because we didn't have the unity. We didn't have the beings in certain energetics and the experience, because we were so brand new. That's why we were such big creators. Now we've harnessed it into our reality, into our new now. And we need help. And so here's where I've been, not today, but today, this has just really hit me, just because I know this is my energy, this is my time. And there's so many things that I have started. I love music. I've found out through this that I'm a top line songwriter. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this world's gone crazy. And Grandpa, take me back in yesterday, when the line between right and wrong didn't feel so easy. I love to sing. I love to write music, but I don't hear music. I write lyrics. So I've got all these songs written that I don't have music to. I've got 4 books, but I don't know how to get them published. I've got a website that I've even got the library built, but I don't know how to get it on the website exactly to build what it is that I want. It's like every single thing that I felt like I've needed something else to do it. And in my projects I did, but that wasn't really it maybe. Because, you know, this is cleanup aisle 1. Not aisle 9, not aisle 5. Cleanup aisle 1. And I had to be a freaking roaring bitch. I had to be a dragon. I had to be a lizard queen. I mean, there's so many roles on each different DNA strand of rebirthing the earth in every single DNA strand in every organic pattern, because that's what we did, but I did it consciously. And I did it through communication. If whatever's in your 7th house is how you bring energy in, and that's in communication. So if you have anything in your 7th house, then that's what you're doing with that. It's bridging consciousness from Virgo, from down here in this plane, up into Scorpio, Capricorn. It's the bridge. Communication and frequency and creation and creativity is the bridge into the other half of the wheel. And that's where my 6th planet stellium is. So I was building it here for this evolutionary track. Was I tricked? Oh, fucking hell yeah. Were every single one of us tricked? Oh, yes. Were we tricked into manifesting shit like, well, we can talk about the Zeta hurricane, because they're trying to get you to manifest Zeta right now, because I took it out of most of this stuff, because they had us manifest it in order to manifest a galactic war. But we didn't know that. But we had to clean it up because we accidentally manifested it. But we didn't accidentally do shit. We were being controlled and fed the information in order to manifest it. Let's be real. That's what it was. But all of it needed to be done in order to get us to the 55th dimension. We did have to have a galactic race. I did have to have a twin in my life that kicked my ass. But I mean, there's reciprocation and there's balance. And that's a different story. And it's something I have not witnessed yet in this plane. When it comes to a relationship of the heart. I'm not bitching about it. I didn't have a heart. And what I do have, I won't say all because that's not true at all. I've got a lot. But when you're trying to manifest love and you're trying to manifest a family, all the while knowing that your family was stolen from you and that you came back and cleared their whole lifetimes so that they could live, but then you were stolen from them, and then you still meet them, and they say, here's your invoice. I got a problem with that. My heart has a problem with that. because I don't understand that. Because that's not family. That's not, I mean, what the hell? Well, if I gave you my invoice, you wouldn't be able to pay it. I'm about to launch in the entertainment industry, and I'm going to be $2,000 a day, $50,000 a month, 24/7. I'll be on call. I guarantee you, their management's going to some of them are going to come and pay me because they're going to get it that if they want their stars to help make them new energy money that's going to be linked in to the collective that's all waking up, then $50,000 ain't shit for a month. I've been doing it for free my whole fucking life. Thank you for appreciating it. Thank you for telling me thank you. Now, why don't you give me some proper respect into the fact that I know what the fuck is going on, and I also did it for you, and I'm sorry if you don't feel like then that there's a reciprocation of honest and equal respect that can meet in the middle, then I don't want to be around you anymore because I've had more than enough. And then inside my heart, I'm hearing, but what if it's the one? But it's still. Because if that isn't made right in some way, how do you move forward with it? I'm at peace with all of it, no matter. Because I know I did what I had to do, and I know everyone around me did what they had to do. Right now, I'm trying to move forward, and when nobody will face me and give me the proper respect because they're all waiting for this stupid shit to maybe manifest tonight, which is going to maybe attempt to lock me back down, and then they don't have to deal with me at all, and then they can just take my shit, well, then it's pretty fucking obvious what you're doing with me. Because you see, that's how it was always done before. You show up, you clear them, and then they close your door. And then you just gave them all their new bodies with their new frequency and their new energy. And now you're the weird lady in the woods. Get the fuck out while they raise and do whatever the hell and gift the energy of clearing that you gave them to their whole family, or do whatever piece of ass walks up and kisses them on the cheek. And then, boom, they're in a karmic relationship just like that. Just like that. Now, but see, they don't even get to that point because when you activate them, then their energy raises. But at first, they attack you because their energy's raising, so they're blaming you. But then when shit goes good, it didn't have anything to do with you. You didn't do that. You didn't help me. That was me. Okay, well, that's number one problem on the earth. Because whenever you get healed by somebody like me and a being that's watching this channel, then who healed you was the entire collective in order for you to help the collective, not for you to help whatever the fuck. And if you can't even turn around and give proper respect to the primordial entity that was awoken on this planet in order to come and re-inhabit the planet, in order to freaking me in the eye and tell me and give me proper respect on any level, then you can't respect yourself. Then you don't respect your spiritual. Everyone thinks that spiritual stuff is free. Well, it's ass backwards now. In fact, go ring up burgers for free. See, everything's fixing to change. It's all about your energy. It's all about your frequency. I don't give a shit what you think you are, making 100, 200, maybe $1 million on a contract, whatever. If your energy isn't right, it ain't going to stick because we're in a new realm. We're in a new frequency, and it has nothing to do with who you know and who your daddy was. In fact, that shit hurts you more than anything, because it keeps you trapped in your own illusion, which then doesn't open you up to who and what you really are.
And I have to be careful not to let the story that was written for me, crazy as hell too, and with no intent of me getting out of it. Let's be honest about that. The only reason that I'm alive is because you can't kill me. And the only reason that I was able to make it through is because my heart was so fucking pure, because I didn't do it for any other reason but to have love in my family and to build some beautiful things here on this planet that have never been seen before, and to show people what we can really do and assist and learn from you, and you learn from me, and work together and build new things and create new things quicker and faster than you'd ever imagine. So that's what I'm looking for. But man, whenever you walk this path through these crazy twin journeys and claiming businesses for your family and claiming casinos, I mean, my God. Because I was powered by 3 dads that were coming in order to collect. But the intention was that I wouldn't be holding the bags at the end. The intention that I was coming to collect from families that are currently wearing cloaks around a pentagram, wondering and thinking that everything's good until they're going to see me turn into an angel right in front of them. And a lot of them aren't going to make it out. And that realization and all of that Akashic Library and everything and the remembrance of all that has just come through in the past 24 hours. So if you want to put on top of all that the fact, and this is every single one of us, it's not just me, because we're talking real right now, because this is our new start. So this is cleanup aisle 1. So we're getting it all out right the fuck now, and then tomorrow we can get up and have a fresh start. However, if you put on top of all that us dealing with what we truly are, because throughout this journey, throughout your spiritual awakening, now that all these gifts are back in your body and they're hybridized, so whether or not you identify with the energy of being just an empath, or just being intuit, or just being a seer, or just da-da-da-da-da, it's exactly just. It's way more than all of that. Because what you say becomes reality. What you do and what frequency you vibe to, I mean, the way that I was able to manifest love is constantly making myself feel in love. It didn't matter if I was talking to the real person or not. It really didn't, because I knew that eventually the real person that I was calling this person would show up. Because that's how it works. As long as I'm staying in a good vibe. But see, the problem was when the real person showed up, there were so many mimics that I'm still not even sure who's the real person. And one of them was so fucking mean to me. So mean to me. Now, I don't care if it was really you or really not you, but to me, it was you. And I begged the dragons, and it took me 44 days to go live out all that shit, because I did. Please don't let it be him, because my God, if it's him, he's an asshole on earth. Well, that's because I was talking to the wrong one. But this is me being honest with myself. Did I screw up by doing that? I don't know. We're figuring this out. I know the law of attraction. I know how that works, because you have to vibrate to the energy of it. So, I mean, if you're always sad and you're always in your bedroom and da-da-da-da-da, then you're not going to be happy, or you're not going to pull in anybody that's happy, because you're always in a bad mood. Energetically, it won't work. You know, if when I'm in California, everything gets a lot of stuff ramps up real quick, because I'm in the energy, I'm in the mood, I'm doing it, I'm walking the streets, I'm going, I'm going to listen to the live music, I'm talking to musicians, so it ramps up real quick because I'm in it, I'm walking it, I'm being it, and then it comes. But in love, I'm confused. I'm confused because I've never had a real love relationship. Because, you know, I was a hybrid that, you know, and a lot of us, it's what was happening whenever you went out or you went to a bar or you went somewhere in the old energy and then bam, you met somebody and it was like boom, sparks fly. Well, a lot of, and then it ended up horrible. Well, most of the time that was them putting people in our field in DNA matches if you were a hybrid like me, in order for us to have sex on a date that was paper clipped to a timeline on another dimension that they were hoping to steal your shit from, or somebody was hoping, because now they know that when you have sex with them, unbeknownst to you, that you're clearing their entire freaking DNA and you're giving them a restart. So either they were showing up for that to happen, or they were showing up so that whatever they were thinking when they were doing you, they could manifest it, but it had nothing to do with you. So basically, that's what you became, a manifesting machine for everyone else that you didn't get shit, except pain, because they thought that the only way to make my frequency go up was to give me pain, because all my life that's all they ever fucking gave me was pain. So then they thought that was the only way to make energy out of me. Literally. See, I'm a virgin in this realm. A lot of us are. I mean, I haven't had sex for over two over 2 years, almost three, and three times since May 2017, and all for a spiritual reason. I don't know what it's like to be touched by somebody who isn't wanting something else from me. I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what it feels like to have a father who protects you. I don't know what it feels like to have a father, to be honest. I have a dad downstairs. He was a program. He'll tell you that. He could never tell me what to do. He could never stand up for me because I had to learn to be this damn strong. So I didn't get to be coddled. I had to be the man. I had to be the galactic human in order to bring in the new earth codes. And so just so I could get here and exist with all of y'all, because we were already here, but we were dying because we were so low frequency and we weren't going to make it. So I know why it all happened, and I don't even judge any of that before. But I'm really, really tired of people not being patient with me when I'm trying to understand it and I'm trying to feel something for the first time, and I get yelled at for being a bitch or for not producing whatever it is that you want me to produce. And then for me getting angry because you want me to produce something, even though it might be legitimate. But all I hear is give me something else, which then makes me go, ah! What do you want from me? Because, come on, give us a break. And I know that I mess up. I know I mess up. Am I fully guided? Yeah, but I still mess up. Thank you, Light Bright. I love y'all. 3 a.m. It sees anytime make headway. Look, right now, where is my phone? The chart is nuts. Let me kind of close up on all that. Also, if you're a hybrid, this came through really, 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 really strong. Slapped me up the face today about twins. You at least have, if you're a hybrid, you have, if you cleared 600 years, okay, then you have at least 6 twins. If you cleared 300 years on this plane, for sure, you have 3. If you're a hybrid, you have 3 in and of itself, because they changed it in order to control us more. And so it wasn't about 1 or 2. They made 3. And typically it would be 2 girls and a boy, or 2 boys and a girl. So energetically, what was happening was you had 3 of us on 3 different dimensions, these down here seeing all the dimensions. So then, and some of us being completely blind to all of it. Meanwhile, subconsciously, everybody's pissed off because you're with the wrong guy whenever you have 2. And you don't even know. So this whole twin flame thing had started out, on an Essene timeline, and there was a reason for it being hooked into certain women and beings that were the earth. We weren't being made in order to clean your money, Washington. Sorry. In my back, they didn't like that word. W. 3, 2, gone. A, 1, S, 1. H is a bridge. No I. N is now Z. T, no T, no more cross. O on the flow, N on the Z. We're not here. My door just moved weird. I just saw a glitch in my eye. We're not here to clean your money. We're not here to make you money. That's not why we came here. You can do it if you want, but I highly suggest not, because I know for a fact that MoneyGram that I got a few months ago is why I had to come back and live this 48 years. And it killed my twins' mother, basically, in a dimension, which then ended up being my daughter in another dimension. And all that just came through today. And it was all because somebody sent me, I don't know, I can't even remember now. Wasn't even a little over $10,000. My crew knows I had to send him the money, but it was the dirtiest money on the planet. It was hooked to the nastiest shit. But I didn't know that. I got trapped in it by one of my hybrids because he was being utilized to try to get to me. So I was being used against him. And that was on the higher timeline. This other twin, now see, I just talked about one. Now this is a different one. This one's Antarian and Pleiadian. Holy shit balls. That's emotional fire of rapid manifestation, all tied to your sexual energy and your emotions. The easiest to control. But these were your kings, and they still are. What does that mean? That means that they share all the DNA of all of y'all, which is why you are drawn to them so much, which is why they were hybridized and put in the places that they were put. But then all in the back end, they had ones like us that were hooked into them, and unbeknownst to them, because they didn't, some of them didn't even know, some of them still don't know. But the powers that be definitely knew that you were living out all their karmic stuff so they could shine bright, so they can make them money, ergo management, because that's what they call them. They call them management. That's what, stop calling them that. They're the ladybugs. That's what I call them. Management is the ladybugs. But see, they're so scared of him. Shouldn't be anymore, especially not after tonight. They don't have no power unless you give them that power. So it's like the whole hybrid world needs to wake the fuck up. And what's happening is all of them are on speed dial, getting the spiritual connections, and the people that are in spirit that have been doing it all for them the whole time are showing up on their doorstep, and they're going, "What? Huh? No, 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 no. You didn't do that. What? Huh?" Whenever it's the ones that cleared it and know exactly and can tell them down to their mother's name, that talks like them, looks like them, shows up on your doorstep, everything else, but that don't mean nothing. How'd I even get to you? How'd I find you? That's because for whatever reason, you were in my life and you were in my story. Right? And then there's others that are completely conscious of it, but they don't know what to do because they're going through their own ascension and they're going through their own thing, and they have their own version of what's been going on, and we can't wait to hear it. But whenever it's being kept apart by not meeting in the middle on things, then it's like you don't know what to do. So right now, the chart is going nuts. There's so much love here, Libra. See, and I'm getting, if you're watching Libra readings, oh my God, it's like, I know there is. But here's the situation. I need help. I don't ever ask for help. I need help. Not to mention we're birthing, and our hearts just came in. Right now, the moon is at 26 degrees Pisces. Today, it went over Zeta Reticuli in Pisces, which is 21 degrees. Okay, 21 degrees Pisces, so 19 to 23. And that degree is because there's four Zeta Reticuli points. This particular one had to do with mass galactic mind control in the water and the energetics, because it's the 12th house. So it's mass consciousness. Whenever you get into Zeta Reticuli in Leo, for instance, it's in the body. So in Pisces, it's more dealing with global static, global illusions, mass illusions of all humans, right? Of all timelines. What the fuck's really, because it was all taking Chiron from Pisces into Aries. Neptune is 0 degrees Aquarius. And we are not going back to the age of Aquarius. And I just saw Magenta Pixie put that out there. And what the fuck? No. No, no. We are not back in the age. If you want to be in the age of Aquarius, go be in the age of Aquarius, because that's the shadow shit that's making you out of Bitcoin and make. Now, look, I'm not saying all her information's not wrong. A lot of it's dead the fuck on because she's channeling the nine, but she's not embodying. If she would have embodied and walked through it instead of just channeled it, then she'd know that you definitely don't want to get your ass stuck in Aquarius, because then all you is a bunch of shadow shit that you never embody, that you get blipped out and you become a monarch breeding program because you never grit it down and you never rebirth yourself. But that is what it is. And people will have to learn, you know. Maybe that's why she's saying it. Maybe this next round needs to live through it, right? Because you've got to figure it out. Especially with Aquarius, especially if you're coming back and you were a musician because look, a lot of us that are hybrids, we became hybrids because why? Because our great great grandparents were somewhere in the music industry or they were somewhere in the movie industry. Period. Because it was existing, everything on this realm was existing from our great great grandparents. So if literally during this shutdown and when everything started over, the only people that could make moves were ones who were in the movies. Because why? No DNA. So if everything blew up and you're putting everything back together, do you know what held the DNA? Film, mercury film. Like layers and layers and layers stacked on top of a star, basically making projections. It's why these actresses and stuff are like morphing. Are you watching them on Instagram? It's trippy. That's not Jennifer Lawrence. That's Jennifer Aniston. That's not Scarlett Johansson. That's Angelina Jolie. What the fuck? Are they trying to morph each other into it? Or is it because we're birthing out of it and so the illusion is fading? And so they can't hold the form because the rest of us that are real ones are actually coming out of what the Russian dolls of codes that they had stacked over us in order for them to produce their life. That's the right answer. So if you go through clearings and you start smelling like onions, like all of a sudden you start smelling like onions, that's because you're birthing it's like our energy is like acid on the film. It burns it. So when you drop timelines, you might smell like onions. That's because that was a layer on top of you. And it really was like that for us hybrids because that is how, and that is what took over the world. And well, it didn't take over the world. It blew up the world. It was trying to take over the world. Because they had just gotten to where there were so many that nobody knows who they are. And the ones that are like me, that were hybrids, that just had all that stuff stacked on them, well, then that's even more of a mindfuck because then it's like, who really are you if you're not on the film? And then who are all these people that were stacked on you? And so then you get real angry because you see them having at least a job, having at least friends, having at least people doing stuff for them and some assistance and da-da-da-da-da. Now, I'm not saying they're not in their own private prison, but at least out of what they've put in, you've put in to their gig, and you didn't get paid at all. Nothing. Not even a face-to-face. Is it their fault? No. Maybe. Did they know about it? I don't know. Some of them did. Some of them didn't. But still, it is what it is. But what really sucks is that some of them are our true loves. And so for me, it's like I'm having to get over it real quick, but I'm just trying to figure out how. And I know I was a little all over the place. I did this mainly for me. I really did. Because I just felt like I was going to blow up. I was going to blow up if I didn't get on here and talk to you guys and see. And because this is how I clear. 0 degrees Aquarius is going to put you right at the end of Lyra 3, walking into that 0 point gate. So be careful, especially in your Neptune, I'm sure you have a lot of what's real, what's not real as well, or you're super, super conscious of it one way or the other. Depends on where your other points are. But you're right at the end of thank you. Look, and it's not even that I'd necessarily, I'm just being honest. I'm being honest right now because I always have the answers. I always, I come across that way because I always just had to do it. I mean, it's like, what are you going to do? You can't just sit around and cry. You have to get up and do something. And whenever you just start that and you keep doing that and you keep doing that and then you keep doing that, you really don't even know. And then nothing ever shows up tangible to allow you to sit down then because everything's taken. Then I can tell you in one lifetime, I ended up in LA a drug addict. I know that now. And it was most likely the last lifetime because I never died. So if they won't let you die and they won't let you live, then what are you going to do? And see, but that is also, I understand that that's why I had so much drive. I didn't have another choice. I've never had another choice. There's so many times I walked out of this house knowing I was going to die, thinking I'd never come back here. In the beginning part of my journey in 2018, when I was on here, y'all were seeing timelines of me dying, emailing me because I was missing from the timelines. Because y'all saw the timelines before that I did die and never came home. So it really is, like warrior PTSD. It really is. It's like when you're constantly in a battle, if you're not in a battle, you don't know what to do with yourself. If you don't have to hurry up and make a decision and you don't have to hurry up and do this and this and that, whenever you're used to having to do everything on a split second, then if you don't have anybody around you that's telling you, hey, that's coaching you, that's talking to you, like I'm talking to y'all right now. I mean, shit, that's what I need. I need somebody to show up and talk to me like I talk to y'all. I'm still looking for that being that can do it. Because I know there ain't but one on this planet that can speak at my level. You are the God, though. And we have to do it together because y'all do it through me. So I know all y'all are feeling this. I talk to you, we can pull up. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Are y'all feeling the same thing or is this me? I'm already at an hour, but I don't care. I'm coming on here because you're feeling the same way. I tell y'all what, I talked to somebody yesterday that told me that he knows he's lived 125,000 lives. And, oh, okay, are we going home? Or because my kids and my wife might be upset if we're going home, if we're going back to what he considers his home, because we all got sent here on this crazy ass mission. And I'm telling him, hold up, buddy, there ain't no more home out there. Home is now here. We're all down here. You're supposed to be looking for us, and you're not, because you're sitting there thinking that this shit didn't get here because nobody wants to give me proper fucking respect for doing it. Because then they can stand wherever and do whatever and take whatever when the rest of the collective is thinking nothing's here because I showed up looking like this and not a man. If I would have been a man, this would have been done a long time ago. Let's be honest. really resonate to the dove. And that's important for us. And that was somebody in the polo today. I was talking about being numb, and I was actually talking about I was gifted that. A lot of us, good. I'm also, y'all are giving me heart frequency. I'm giving you new heart frequency. If you can see this, I don't know what I look like on this screen. If I start moving my hands, I bet it'll go crazy. You're too stoic. Well, see, but don't be, who has a heart? Right? A lot of ours were numbed, especially through this cycle and especially recently because of the transits we're going through. And when we talk about divine guidance and we talk about divine timing, understand you're talking about waiting for the stars to align. You really are. Because energetically, that's how we're all connected into these mass star systems, and there's times to plant, there's times to sow, there's knowing how to ride these cycles, which is what we'll be talking more and more and more about now that things are going to slow down and drop down a little bit, and then we're going to kind of start this thing over again. Not us for the next rounds. It's kind of like. It's like a Dairy Queen ice cream cone. So we already did this. We already started up here. We already went down here. And so now it's like it's going to start again down here at the same time. A middle layer is going to start and come up, and we're going to keep going up as well. But there's alignments that have to happen in order to get you in union, because it's what you're doing. You're unifying with either the negative space around you or another star, or you're the negative. Like, it's like, here's the ball, here's where it goes, but it's in the star system. So this is where men really have a hard time with this more than the women, because, well, give me an answer, and da-da-da-da-da, and I want it now, and I want it now. And you're like, well, fuck. I don't know what to tell you. The answer hasn't shown up yet. It hasn't shown up yet. I want it too. Don't you think I do? Like, but I've mastered this. So I know that. But then you want it too, because you're sick of being alone too. And then that energy gets in you. And then what happens? Y'all get stuck. That's where I'm at right now. Because one of you, and literally this is divine intervention, because why? Because they had two twins pinned totally to where they could never be together. And then the whole unions never happened because they all existed off those two twins. And the ascension didn't happen because the twins never united, which is literally bringing the planet out of a low-level processional ecliptic that it shouldn't be held in anyway, because you're dealing with stars and alignments of stars and dimensions that were all sent here in order to ascend the stars. Definitely. Well, and we have to look at it from both sides. I mean, this is me coming on and saying, look, because I got real upset a lot of times with a certain being. And this last time I lost my shit on him, but I really don't know his full perspective. However, I also feel that he had many times to come and say it, but that's me from a muggle standpoint, because I was living timelines that I didn't understand. And to me, it was just him not showing up again, but it very well could have been written so that, because he couldn't show up in that dimension, but I had to show up in it. See, a lot of my shit has been having to show up and get the door slammed in my face. in order for for anybody to come in your door. Because if I never walked to the door, if I'm living all the DNA timelines and I never walked to the door and I never knocked on it and said, hey, I'm your daughter, then that means that a lot of you would never find your children. So it's like I got real used to getting the door slammed in my face and going back in my shell, because I learned a long time ago that going to the hospital with hyperventilating didn't help anything, because that's what happened the first time. So you become a little numb after a while, but then you still have to show up and do it. And then when your car's finally going to show up, maybe now you're second guessing, but at the same time, they need to understand this shit. The hybrids and people that are coming in union right now, I don't care what side you're on, y'all both need to understand that you've both been going through it. You've both been through the same exact things. In fact, your woman has lived your deaths, kings. We know what's coming next. Why do you think we're here? We're from the future. We just came from the past to clear the future so we could show up right here to let you know, hey, watch your food, you're being poisoned. And it became real static clear in the past 5 days. That's why I say, I knew exactly why it had all happened, because I was having to run messages in this last 5 days to make sure that it didn't happen again. But you did. You lived the deaths of them. Because you lived the same betrayal in your life. So you actually know where it's coming from on their cruise. However, they don't want to listen to that. Well, okay. But if you don't want to clean up your crew and you don't want to clean up your mess, then I'm divinely not able to come into your world, because then it's going to attack me and it's going to spin out the rest of the collective. I was an octopus-like being and I had no emotion. You might have been an octopus. Wow. You might have even been an octopus. Literally. And then that heart frequent, not having a heart, because put me in a Guinevere and they made me feel my heart brutal. Yep. See? I mean, and I'm not going to get into it. This is Epstein shit. So, this is about new starts. And the moon went over Zeta today in that big degree. We had Chiron on 555, which is Egyptian codes. This is the Skull and Bones Day. If you don't know what it is, go look it up. But this is when they do their little rituals with Artemis and Artisan and Venus and all this shit that now we're walking the planet and we're not hooked into their shit. So none of it's going to fucking react to that shit. But it's what we've been bringing down this entire summer, because June and July aren't real months. They just loop back to January. So basically, you have January, which is made, but it still stays. January, February, March, April, May. And then when the May rains come, what was happening energetically is they were looping it literally like a shock collar, looping it back up to January, okay, and starting us over. And then they were writing June and July. It's like the collective wrote June, then they were umping it, is what I'm calling it now. They were consciously taking it from the rest of the energy that we all had done here, and then looping us back to January instead. And then they were hitting the harvest. And So, like if you're born in October, you were really, in an old count, it was 2 months before, maybe even 3. I'd like to talk to some ancients about that because I'm not real sure about January. But I do know that Thanksgiving's the real Christmas, or what we would call Christmas, the birth of Yahshua, whatever. That's really at Thanksgiving. And what do they have us doing? Watching football and eating food. Crazy amounts of it. Right? Which is the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing on that energetic day. But because they messed with everything, then you didn't know and everyone forgot. And then this is how everything got messed up. I'm talking about that because all of this stuff is recorrecting to 1515. Because this is when the holy marriages happen, all at 1515. If you haven't looked up year 1515, go look the year 1515. And I have a video on it on this channel. I think it's Royal Weddings Exposed is what it's called. It'll have a big exposed stamp on it. I'm talking about that because this right now, as Venus is right now going into Libra. We're at 0 point Libra right now. We've got it 2 minutes into Libra. And at the same time, we have Mercury at 2955. So that's 1155, which is 66, which is hitting the flow, which is coming into Libra. Okay. Right here, when you come out of Virgo, you can basically think of Leo as the lion. Leo's the king, what we would consider the old king. There's only one. He sits on a throne. He has all the power, yada, yada, yada. But he has an energy frequency in that castle, and everyone listens to him, and everyone, right? That's Virgo. That energy frequency that he puts out in Leo is actually the Virgo frequency on the planet. That's why the old Regulus degree was right here at 28 degrees. I know this is opposite because I'm doing it this way. Is the old Regulus degree is right here. And so basically it was 28 degrees Regulus, which then what? Hit 0 degrees Virgo. So it was like the king ruled this whole thing. One person, 2 people, whoever was the king, okay? But Leo is in the body, and Virgo is the frequency of it. Well, now we're the collective. And now Regulus is now 0 degrees of Virgo. But this is where all the manipulation in the black hole and the galactic center getting blown out and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to have to take off my headset and plug this thing in. So why am I talking about this? Because we've got Venus that just came out of Virgo, okay, on this cleanup. Because this is where all the timeline energetics and all of the things that the collective has been doing consciously to correct all these timelines, etc., since November of last year for sure. Because we had to quantumly, meaning through our manifestation, through our Akashic libraries, through mental, all the stuff that we've been doing mentally, we were quantumly reconnecting those timelines in Virgo. And that's what Venus just went and picked up. Now, when you get into 0 degrees of Libra all the way to 3 degrees of Libra, that's Alpha Draconic Notice 1. Now, what's that? That's a 33 bone template. Every being has a bone template. You either have an Alpha Draconic Notice 1 bone template, which is linked into the 33 parallel, which is linked into this part of the plane. It's the 711, okay? 311 is soul, if you will, Shambhala. 711 is earth plane. 911 I call family, but that's like the whole thing. It's the whole energetic, okay? The monad code, all of it. So when you see those numbers, that would help too. So the 33 parallel, watch the 711. Well, those are the ones that were hooked into these old these old timelines, and we're basically dumbed down into a 33 bone structure that hooked into the energetics because they were hybridized in order to do it, to hold the frequency of the planet down. This is where evolution stopped. Now, and so this is what's rewriting. And really, when you start looking at Libra, how it works is it goes into Alpha Draconic Nodus 1, and then basically from there until you get to 10 degrees Libra, it's wide open air. It's like it's all light air. It's basically energetically, when we come through 0 degrees Libra, what you're coming through now is like almost like a bone. You're a dense field, so you've got all, because Virgo's just energy, and at the end of Virgo, it's real high density, high frequency energy, right? So it's basically shooting through. If you can think of a bone and a porous bone, go look at a porous bone, right? Go look at a bone. It's not, I know we think it's solid, but it's really just energy moving at a different density. Well, when you have that much air moving into Libra, and then it's scaling it out, then that first energy wave that hits is really like energy shooting through a bone. So you have codes on your energy as you shoot through that bone that then is supposed to stack up, okay, your codes on the bone. So then when you get, so now you come through it, you've got your energy, and you're in your bone structure. Now you're hooking into your timelines, because now you're hooking into the other conscious beings that are in that same energy, right? Everything's balancing out. So that's why, that's right there in Libra. Now Algorab is 12 degrees Libra, and that's the scale. But Algorab at 12 degrees Libra is, it's this part of this scale. Actually, 12 degrees is right here, 14 is right here, and 16 is right here. So it's like, if you want to say it's light and then this is dark, but over here is animals. Here's your skin. Here's where the people get made. Over here is just bone and energy and timelines that are hooked into your DNA bones. Okay? So between 3 degrees Libra and 10 degrees Libra is where you can just, it's shadow. It's basically like because you don't have your body yet, so everything is real cut and dry, okay, but it's real magnified because you just blew through bone. So it's Gemini on steroids is what it is, but it's not you, it's energy, okay. So, but this is the main part of Libra that was tampered with in those early degrees, because it's basically where they had us tuned into bones, right? So it's like walking through, we're reclaiming all of that this time. If you have, because notice 33 is now reprogrammed to 44. There is no more 33. Bone tiplet. It's all been rewritten. Well, that's what Venus is bringing right now. Venus is bringing the new. Really, they're Azarian codes that hook into the Alpha Draconic Nodus 44 bone structure, and that is where Mars is right now, backing up over in Aries, okay? So at the same time that we have the entire collective going in to get new codes, then we've got Mars backing up over there on Alpha Draconic Nodus 44, cutting and pasting, basically, along with Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto that are cutting and pasting, basically. And it's all affecting the entire human race. So then, at the same time, we have Mercury going backwards on Izar, because Izar is 27 degrees of Libra, and that's the major hybrids. And so if you want to think of Libra as a body-making machine, then you can think of the bone right here. It's got to go through and balance out. Then you have to live those experiences in a body in order to get the energetics of Arcturus. Because whenever you're dealing with Algorab, you're talking about not the sun and the moon. You're talking about the entire light frequency of 5 realms, and then the darkest frequency of 5 realms. So everything is super, super, super magnified in your life because your body is so powerful to wield the forces of that. Because, or you're in, if you have anything in there, or because you're balancing out, because the Azarian codes are the hybrid codes. They're the ones that are the full-blown Arcturian, that's completely conscious, that's now in a body. And what was always happening, and where Mercury just went over, was those 0 degree points of Scorpio, which we call Apollonia, which would be the Amazon women on their own little island without any men, because they're the ascended ones, but they're not in a body, because that ray, that Ophiuchian ray that was even able to balance out the scales in order to pull us out of an ecliptic lineup that wasn't right with the human body, because it all works together, then that's when everything got split off. So like the Azarian, and the Azarians are your femme fatales, they're your entertainers, they're me, we're hybrids, you can shapeshifters even. But we were also the toy soldiers that were made by the military and the government in order to do it all. That race is now activated 100. So you're dealing with ascension, or you've got it, you're already through ascension, or you're getting a shock activation, because you have to catch up, because you're pulling the rest of them up, and you should have the skills, or at least you've got the ability to get through it, because you have the Akashic library. So what does that mean? That means the whole planet's getting a massive shock activation. It don't matter who and what you are, because Venus is me, and we're all Azarian, and we're not even on Earth anymore. I mean, let's be realistic. I'm pretty sure we're up in Maldek space. It's like they collapsed and merged, kinda. So it gave us another bubble to jump into in order to, and so when we talk about the new start, and we talk about the new world and the new age, realize everything needs to be redeveloped. There isn't anything that is going to stay the same, only because your codes don't work with it anymore. Your body is tuned to 4004, whether you want it to or not, because that is the new human template that birthed here and praised everybody for everything that was done in order to get us here. Because if we wouldn't have made that, there wouldn't have been nothing left. So all that's happening right now, and it's going to line up on October 31st. I mean, dead on everything in my chart. Everything in my chart. And Fernando's chart, because he's a master soul from Algorab. See, I'm a master soul from Sirius A. Master soul is your IC. So if you look where your MC is, because it's not going to be marked on your chart, just what is your MC? If it's 9 degrees of Capricorn, then look opposite, that's your IC. That's not, so mine's 9 degrees of Cancer. Well, that's Sirius A. So I'm a master soul from Sirius A, because that's where you're bringing your Akashic library up into this realm. It's like those little stack 'em things. You're the one at the top. That's the information that you're bringing in that you've already mastered. But then you've still got to do it all here. So me and Fernando working together, and him even being able to be around me in this life, I knew, and we know now, because the last 5 days was because somebody owed me 50-50 of something and they didn't pay up. And so if you're in the middle of an ascension count and you're a pure starseed, and you have an agreement and you get backdoored, then something else will show up in order to assist you, and is ordered to. Especially whenever someone comes at you like that, or doesn't show up to give you what you rightfully have earned, then the universe will have it show up in a different way. And it took me a little bit to fit, because I knew Fernando was the secret. Because if I wouldn't have had Fernando here, we wouldn't have made it. Because I needed a masculine around me, and the whole world was hell bent on keeping him away from me, including my child, so that I could not concrete this energy. But see, that didn't work when you got the consciousness working together, and we're all in telepathy, which is what Azarian consciousness is. Thank you for the ultraviolet star seeds. Is that what? I like that. Ultraviolet. But it's, I mean, look, what are we going to call ourselves? We're really Venetian. We're way more Venetian beings now. I mean, humans, yeah, you're human. But what type of humans are we now? Because we're really more Venetian than anything. I mean, everything needs to be redeveloped. Everything. 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 Because everything's energetic. The houses, these squares, nope, not good. Little neighborhoods, you're set up on grids. Okay, is the community conscious of it? Do you know that you're sitting on top of your own body, gridded down on your streets that way? Okay, if the whole community knows, and then y'all get together and say, this is what we're going to do with our energy, that's cool. Problem is, nobody knows. So when we talk about village, we should be living in more top village atmospheres. We're supposed to help raise each other's children. The women are teachers. The men need to do what they're good at. The women need to be allowed to do what they're good at. We all help each other. Nobody's supposed to raise their child all by themselves. The whole point is to be around family. But see, this whole world got fracked out, and it was like, I live here and you live here and we'll FaceTime. Okay, well, that's fine. But then where you live, are you just in your house FaceTiming? Or, that's our problem. Nobody walks outside and talks to each other. You can't be like that in new energy. You can't. You're too susceptible. And you're not learning anything. We have 5 years to complete this. We need to be around each other, high vibing. And I'm not saying in each other's business all the time. You can have a house. You can do all that stuff. And we got some time until, we've got about 5 years. But see, this is why it's so important for us to start building this now. And consciously, we need water cities. There's going to be more water. There's architects that are out there that are doing this stuff now. Why aren't we talking about it? We have to start talking about it, because that's how it consciously develops. And if we're not talking about it, and if we're not dreaming about it as a collective, because we only think that we can buy a house that looks like a square and live da 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 and da 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 and da 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 and da da da, then nobody's going to understand it. Once people go, oh shit, I can do that. Oh shit, that's possible. I never thought about that. Well, that's the point. This is New Earth. And I'm just letting everybody know that it's clicking in. So I'm going to hang up soon, just because I've been on here an hour and a half. There's 13. I had 13 on. October 31st, everybody knows that date. November 2nd is going to be a big date, because that's when Scorpio, it's like I was watching where we're imprinting everything that happened October 18th, because that's all your energy's coming back. Your new your new body, your new codes, everything that you claimed is coming back into your field as Venus goes into Libra. So I'm telling you, this is where you might go, oh shit, who are all these people? And December 1st. So mark those 3 days, okay? December 1st, October 31st, November 2nd. Now, real quick, because this is going to die on me. Fern, do you have your big charger? Your faster charger? That might help me stay on a little bit longer. Can you bring it? Blue Moon, that's me. Hi, Blue Moon. And this is hooking into the eclipse that happened January 2018. That blue, because this is when the original, if you were in that crew with me in 2017 and you were the ancient ones getting woke for this shit, then that we brought in this energy on that eclipse. And it was January, I'm pretty sure, because it was on my son's birthday. So it was January, what was the day after? January 31st, 2018. Thank you. I can stay a little bit longer. Do it this way.
Can I unplug this?
Yes. I had my little lights on.
Boom.
You want to say hi?
Hello, galactic travelers.
Fur makes me smile. He's going home on the 5th. I'm going to miss him so much. Right. I know he's got great hair. And if your hair's falling out, okay, don't freak out and don't manifest more hair falling out. Just know that energetically, when that dead energy and those antennas come off your bubble, okay, because you're gonna have new codes that you've never had before, because they were being used by somebody else. And so when Venus goes through Alpha Draconic Notice 33, then you're going to be getting your new template. So what happens in the organic energy is that then you're going to start manifesting subconsciously to that new template, okay? Because in 2017, whenever the ancients and all of us started waking up, is the same year that we found the 40 obsidian new. All of a sudden, the 40 obsidian statues in Egypt. All of a sudden, there was the Viking warrior's coffin with her husband's heart nailed on it. There all of a sudden was the Peruvian skulls that were found. Well, not all of a sudden shit. It's because we woke up on the planet and that shit belongs to us. So it's like the reality, it comes to the human codes. It comes to the bone. It's not the other way around. It's how all of a sudden you can be walking in Egypt and go, oh shit, because there's going to be more and more and more of that stuff. And the Oak Island stuff, that's hilarious. That's just funny as shit to me. Because it hadn't got here yet, and it definitely wouldn't be right there. Because it would move, right? So this is because as the collective opens up and starts embodying more of these ancient codes is when we're going to start seeing mass manifestation changes, because the humans stepping into the original codes, now everything is going to somehow like start morphing into these different time periods depending on how many people are conscious in that code. But you're getting your new codes. Actually your codes. But when you come in them, then you're in that space where everything's light and it's either dense or light. And so that is when it don't just talk about it and understand what it is. And there's going to be shadow pieces that show up on those layers too. But it's going to make sense now because you're conscious. So there's always going to be shadow shit when you're creating, right? But understand that as you embody those different gummy bears layers, and so if you're now back in your queen energy, then you might be dealing with a lot of different men, and you might be dealing with some money stuff, and you might be dealing with having to communicate to tons and tons of because now you have those codes. Now you don't have to. You can totally you don't have to do any of it, but then you're not going to embody that layer. So either's fine, but the more of us that do, then the easier it is for each one of us that does, because then now you're once you break through that and you have the tools from it, then you're not stuck in that. Now right, because now you've pulled all that knowledge in now, because everyone's, becoming their own queens and kings, and that was the point. you know for those of us who walk this consciously on the monarch side, that do have, so much royal blue blood DNA, our main, and with my twin on the highest timeline, that is what we completed together. We brought down the monarch program. Now when we did it and we said it, I had no idea the depths of it until we cleaned it up, because we ordered it. But our main thing was, no more kings, no more queens. This is insanity. It's insane. It's nobody really understands. You want to be a queen until you're a queen. Then you're like, oh shit, that's a lot of work. Everybody wanted to be, and in the old, in the Egyptians times, they're like, they had slaves doing this, and oh shit, that is such retard. No, no, no. And the queens were carried around on these chariots. Well, because we couldn't touch the ground, we weren't allowed. We literally weren't allowed to step foot on the ground at certain times in Egypt. That's why we had to be being carried around all the time. Yeah, you think that it's nice being an entertainer and having all this money that you have no control over. Well, you're stuck in your Egyptian pyramid, because that's how it was down there. So, it became this, well, you have this and I don't, and I'm having to do this and you don't, and you're free and I'm not. Well, who was really held captive? But then you're still getting attacked for it, because you're holding consciousness for everybody. But as consciousness was slipping, everybody was forgetting that that's the reason everything was existed, is because we had the Akashic libraries to help everybody. And then it became, you had this and I didn't have this, and I want this, and da 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 da. And then the attack started, and then everybody wanted to be us and steal us and put us in a box and become a book cover. So you can't have it both ways. So okay, here you go, everybody. And then that's basically how it ended up, because it blew up. But now everybody has that DNA back, because you always had it. You were always existent back to the one, but there were just layers on you. And there were way more layers on some of us. So understand that that's what I mean, and that's what all this means when we talk about going, because you're going to, and you have the ability to now tune to the highest DNA count, and then you become you. You're there. You have so many lifetimes. You're not going to become, Mary Queen of Scots again. Thank freaking goodness. That's just a replication of 1500s that happened in 1700s on a different timeline, that happened in 1900s on a different, because it's the same event. So you're Mary Queen of Scots, you were Alexandria. Here's the funny shit: Anne Boleyn and Catherine. Well, Anne Boleyn was her shadow. So David ended up being with Catherine's shadow, thinking that he didn't love Catherine, but that's what happens when you're a dragon and you have royal shit, because you're gonna woo! I was Queen of Sheba. You were Queen of Sheba. I don't know much about her. I need to look. I was definitely Mary Queen of Scots. That's the last lifetime that I somewhat remember. In like, I know that I was in Egypt, but I think only once. The rest of the time, Athena. Amazing, amazing. The rest of the time, uh, I was the consciousness of Egypt. That's Ophiuchus 1. Early degrees is Sag. I call it Ma'at consciousness because you're the earth consciousness. You're the consciousness the pharaohs were channeling, which is the Ophiuchian ray that's coming in. It's already here. It just hasn't made it all the way down here yet until, what date is it? 3.5 days. 3.5 days. So depending on where you've cleared, okay, up to, you could be feeling the ray or seeing it or have seen it, already know it came, depending on your gummy bear. Depending on how high up you've already claimed your gummy bear. Because understand, if you have Alpha Decoding Notice 1 or Notice 2 or Izar in your chart, your job was to come here and clean your gummy bear quick. So that there would be a giant gummy bear that the others could jump in order to open their gummy bears. And we're going to do a little video on that, on how to talk to your kids. We pulled some art on this. How to talk to your kids about that, because the children are the most powerful. And I'll end on this just so everyone knows and can take a deep breath. But all those that are on here, you need to talk to your children if they're under 8 years old. And we're going to make a little video on this. If your children or grandchildren or have friends or have kids under the age of 8, okay, right now you need to call in for their consciousness and their energy and their bubble to merge into yours. And you think of it like a gummy bear, okay? But our little babies right now, their gummy bears are way bigger than ours, is the problem. And their energy is way bigger than ours. And they're coming after the kids' energy, basically. So if they're under the age of 8, just claim and merge their energy, and what happens is as they grow, then they'll birth their own. And but that basically means you're pulling them into your gummy bear so that when that energy comes in here, you're getting it, not them. If their energy is way out here, they're getting shocked with it. You don't know it because their energy is way stronger, and then your gummy bear is not getting alerted, okay? So you want to pull them into your gummy bear. So you want to call in that their energy merge into yours. Now, if they're over 8, you need to ask them and you need to tell them. And that's what we're going to do a little video. And I'm going to tell you how we tell them. But I'll tell you real quick right here is you need to tell them, hey, this is how energy works, and your energy fields are really big because you're all fresh and shiny and new, but mom and dad have big gummy bears. So our gummy bears too go way up here, but we have all these experience and this wisdom that keeps our gummy bears this high. And what does that mean? That means that ours are bigger, they're taller. So whenever something alerts us, good or bad, it's going to hit us first before it gets to your gummy bear. And we need to, and that's what tells mom, you can't go, I'm sorry, you can't go to the party. But this is why you need to tell them, because so you need to ask them their permission for them to merge in your field. So then whenever you get a psychic something and you can tell them, hey, my gummy bear was just alerted, FYI, this is why you can't go. I'm not sure why, honey. That's up to us to discover, so that then you can get your new layer of gummy bear. And then sure enough, what'll happen is something will come up and you'll go, that's why you couldn't go. Do you see why mom has your gummy bear? So you're teaching them how to raise their intuitive so that they can clear their gummy bear, and eventually their gummy bear's gonna yours, which is what you want it to do in certain areas. But then explain to them is as they learn the lessons of why mom got that message first, then they get their messages, and then they get to be more independent, and mom isn't going to tell them. Then it's more, oh crap, I screwed up. But once you're in your gummy bear, then you're going to have to live the karma of it too. So we're going to make a little video about that for you to talk to your kids. But right now, especially with everything going on, if you're on here and you see this now, then do this. It will protect you, it'll protect the children, and plus some of you need to do it just because there's more clearing that needs to do with the kids, and then you can take that on and clear it. Okay, which then magnifies y'all all up, because there ain't no time to wait. Like it's not, oh crap, I don't want to do that, you know, because we got 5 years to tune everyone up until this place is really going to start quaking. Yet we hadn't seen nothing yet, but it doesn't have to do it if we'll get everybody's gummy bears lined up. Because really, it's unknown what's going to happen. But there is a procession. It is the procession of the equinoxes. It is 36 years. It is what it is. And it'll end around 2035. But everything's really going to chill out around 2032. And then that just is what it is. Now, what happens in those years is all up to the consciousness of the gummy bears that are living on this crazy flying rock of how we balance out our gummy bears. So you can see why we don't want to chase each other no more. There's no need in chasing each other anymore. There's no need in right and wrong. There's no need in picking this and picking that. Is it this one or this one? I don't know. Which Lizzie do you want running the world? Well, neither, thank you. Unless they're hooked into the collective. Which, thank God, now we have the tools to do. Again, send me 2 Bitcoin. I'll activate Trump. Brenda! Thank you, Brenda. Thank you for today. So, I'm going to go. I feel better. Do y'all feel better? Any updates with Algorand? I'm not going to talk about digital currency until I get called to the board meeting that I'm supposed to be at. I do feel better. I'm letting y'all know that talking to y'all and your energy and me sharing with you is making me feel better and more hopeful. And I'm reminding myself through coaching you, which is really coaching me, because as soon as I hang this up, I'm going to watch it, because I don't have anybody yelling at me. So the only way that I can get this out is to talk, and then I turn around and watch the videos, which, look, if you don't have to hook up with anybody, and man, I need to call Marco Polo. I need to do that, because that, just do the video to yourself and send it to your daughter or send it to somebody, just so you can turn around and watch it again. Because hearing yourself talk about things, you pick up things that only you will pick up. And plus, when you're a pure starseed and you're channeling and you're talking about things, I'm telling you, but then I'm really telling me, but when I'm talking, I'm not listening. And I don't care what it is, it's fresh information on this planet, because there ain't nobody been through this type ascension ever before in the human race, you hear? So this is all new shite, no matter how you want to twist it, turn it, and plug it upside down. I don't care what ancient master soul or what shaman healer you think you are, you don't know shit. And the faster that we understand that as a collective, and we show up and go, oh crap, did I screw up? Oh crap, did we drill into some Atlantean crystals and blow up some shit? See, we could have taken care of this a long time ago. And collective digital currency is the new money system. Blockchain is not it. I do know the technology that needs to be implanted, basically, because there's new code that needs to be written in tech. So I call in whatever meetings, whatever star seeds, whichever ones are going to give me the proper respect so that I can just get them the information and be done with it, because I really don't want to go build a big tech company. It's not what I'm here for. However, the highest information will be what's built. And nothing will be built until the highest information is available and the codes are activated. And I guarantee you, the men walking around thinking that they know what the fuck they're doing definitely are not the highest descended beings on this planet. It's impossible. I'm still trying to get one to show up, be able to show up into my frequency. So us big star seeds are here, and everybody needs to get over it. We're women. And the faster that you can get over that, then we can turn everything back on. Because us women really don't want to go run it. We don't. That's not what we're good at. But you will listen and you will respect the fact that we came in here with the information that was channeled by your great great grandfathers. Because every single one of us were led by the men to get to you. That's why we've got the information. So Bitcoin is going to go down. I suggest all starseeds buy some type of crypto and or digital frequency currency, just because, and it's going to feel so weird doing it. You're not going to like it. It's going to scare the shit out of you because it's you. But the more of us that it's on are in it, then the more we can affect it in the positive or negative way, whatever's getting hit with the planet, in order to adjust it, because it will naturally adjust our energy frequency instead of me having to recode FOMO hot to get the money energy off the wrong people. But then I can't control that energy of FOMO hot. I just reprogram the entire star energetic. Right? And I can't go doing that all the time. So the more of us that hold that energy of money, because money is, I mean, I need to do a whole video on cleaning money. Because I'm telling you, I mean, that's what almost was my out of here, was getting dirty money sent to me with the purpose of cleaning it. And on here, when people sent me money. Oh my God. Because if you are a starseed that's energetic of money, then that is what you do, because you're a big crystal. So basically you bring it in and clear it. And when they figured that out, we were toast. However, we built it in order to take it back over. And we always knew somehow our frequency would make our money, but we didn't understand how. Well, I'm telling you how. But there will be different types of currency. Bit is gold. Gold's gone. There is no more bit. It's sitting in semi-trucks all over the place. Everybody just buying it up, buying it up, buying it up, but there ain't nothing they can do with it. It's just like gold sitting in a damn vault. However, it does hold weight, and it does hold energy, okay? But there needs to be smaller than a semi-truck. Not all of us need to be driving semi-trucks. In fact, it's really hard to back those bitches up. It's really hard to find a place to park them, and you don't know what's driving around in the truck. You see a big truck, but you don't know how many onions are in that truck, right? And that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to give away the piggy. All right. I love y'all. Fern, can you send me my own video? Share with your friends. share with ascended ones, and I'm gonna get back into getting dressed and doing all that. But we, I'm being authentic and I'm being honest. And if anybody wants to assist with any of the things that I just talked about, you can message me here. Again, my email is coco@becocochi.co. I think, let me see, can I chat? I think Fern, can you put it up? Union codes. And so it is 1014 1014. It's 1014 right now. Here's the last thing I'm being guided to tell y'all. You can timestamp in the matrix. Okay? So whenever you have any type of big event, any when you call something in, you look at the time. Whenever you have a big event or you see a change or you look at the time. Whenever to concrete it, look at the time. If somebody else is healing and you heal them, or something big happens, or you say, hey, command this, what time is it where you are? What time is it where I am? You concrete it in that timestamp. Now, not only is it concreted on the energy grids at those times, what it's also is in your little library that reminds you what those numbers mean. So whenever that pops up in the astrology, or it pops up in the time, or it pops up on your phone number, somebody's phone number or license plate, then you're starting to build your little library of your intuit and your ascended information as to what those changes are going to be. And then there are a lot of codes that are just set codes. I've given y'all some tonight. 311, 711, 911. Fern was telling you about 1010. That's also 1001. So after the gummy bear video, y'all tell me, and if y'all want to put in the comments, what do you want the next video to be about? I'm not going to do digital currency until I get the proper respect on that, and there's some people that should be giving me a phone call. However, we can do quantum numbers, and we can do number codes, and we can start, what I'm doing this Lucille Ball thing. quantum numbers and matrix codes, just so then you can start developing and know what those are when you see them. One, I'll give you two more. 1515, those are matrix codes. Those are old matrix codes. Everything was 15. That goes back to Skull and Bones and Essene's crap. It's what they built it off of. It's why everything blew up. But 1515 codes is old matrix codes, okay? So, but 1313 are Arcturian codes. 1313 is original organic codes. And that's what the new earth is set on, is 1313 codes from the 13th dimension. So, organics, feminine codes, flow codes, nothing's static. Everything moves. There is no time at all. It all happens instantaneously now. Instantaneous. We call something in and boom, there it is. We do a clearing in the morning. By the afternoon, we're working through the timelines. It's instant. So you're coming in and out of old matrix grids and old timelines depending on which part of the body codes you're embodying and pulling yourself out of, right? We can't just completely blip out of old matrix. Well, see, the old matrix is gone. That's my point. Like the 1515 codes that were set up with the consciousness from the 1515 Catholic Roman blah 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 as gone. This is why everybody's tripping out. Because in the end, there was one guy who was paying for all this. I mean, it costs a lot of money to have handlers around starseeds all the time and follow us around all the time. Right? So it's like everybody's been waiting I don't care if you were a drug dealer. I don't care if you were an arms dealer. I don't care if you are waiting for your paycheck at your corporation. I don't care if Johnny owes you money because of some deal that went down. It's all happening going up to one group. And what's happening is all these dudes are pissed. Now all these dudes are pissed. Now all these dudes are pissed. And they're like, well, so and so's supposed to pay me so I can pay you. Well, so and so didn't pay me so I can't pay you. Well, that's because nobody paid me. Where's my money? Because nobody getting paid until I get my money. You know why? Because I made it. I created it. I manifested it in the middle of a druid count. And if you don't show up and give it to me after you promised and made a contract that you did, then you don't get none of it and I get all of it. I've been trying to tell these monkeys this the whole time, but nobody wanted to listen to the ancient being that came and woke up in order to tell them all of it because I was the girl. And because they had gotten away with it for so long, not giving us anything, which is why y'all never got anything in Ascension, because if you don't pay the one that set it up, then there ain't none to pay out. So what's happening now at the major, I mean, this is why your banks are closing down. Not your banks, they're fine for a minute. This is why your schools are closing down. This is why your police departments are closing down. So everybody just needs to fess up, say, oh shit, we were doing some crap we didn't know, because every single one of us were. I don't care who you were. And then let's just balance this out. Let's bring balance to the whole thing so we can get on with it. And I mean in every aspect. I don't care who you are. When you meet an ascended being, you're going to have to meet in the middle. We're going to have to come down and we're going to have to negotiate with you, because right now you're still purifying in order to even get in a room with us. Do you know that my crew, every single one of them that came to meet me, got sick as hell as soon as they decided and booked the ticket to come meet me? Because our energy is so strong in the physical, you have to be prepared to hold it, because even when you come in, there's going to be some energetic shit when we quantum entangle that we're going to have to merge and work out. And you literally cannot exist in our space if you are not clean and purified enough, because all you're going to do is trigger the shit out of me. And then all I'm going to do is, because I can't hold it, so if you're screaming at me because you're blaming me for something, then I have to roar it back at you. And then boom, if you're not ascended and if you're going to blame me, it's over. Bam, that's it. That's it. So it's not allowed until both sides are ready. So we have to come down and they have to realize that there's so all that has had to be done on our side in order to even get to where we're at. And if they're coming in, there's something we've cleared with them. And you can't put 3D type shit as a barrier to it, because if you do, then you're going to trap yourself in 3D shit. Because whenever you have the opportunity to go be with a pure ascended being right now, and you have an invitation to be with one, then you are getting the Holy Grail. Especially if you're a man coming into union with an angel. You are getting the fucking Holy Grail. So what's stopping you from getting to the Holy Grail? Your old 3D shit. Okay, will you like that more than having infinite possibilities and not having to work so hard and being controlled? If you like that more, then you got to stay there. Now, I'm not talking about all of them because there's certain groups that definitely you could not merge with, and there's a bunch that are ascended that then you have to go, okay, I'm gonna make this sacrifice, and I'll make this sacrifice. I can do that. I'm down with that. I'll live your karmic shit with you, even though I've already lived through it and I've already ascended through it and I've already gotten through it. But okay, I'll come walk your ascended shit and help you and guide you, but here's the deal. You got to meet me halfway cuz I can't go back and build a whole bunch of karmic debt to get to you when I'm going to have to help you clear your karma. Otherwise, you're just going to bring me down to your level and we're going to get stuck and there's no new earth. Not for us, cuz we'd be trapped in that shit. And that's how it works. It just is what it is. It's energetics. All right, 13131. 11333. All right. Bye guys. I love y'all. BeCoChi.co. Email me. I saw the Vicky. I will email you back. I wasn't feeling it today, so I definitely, if you want to do charts, and also I feel like what we're gonna do is do like a full video like on Arcturus and a full video on the star points, and we can do those for purchase. They won't, so you can send a Cash App or a PayPal. We can figure that out, and then we'll send you private YouTube links so that you can watch them, and then that way we're at least getting some balance and energy back, because at this point we've got to have some energy coming in, because money is energy. All right, love you guys.